To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men.
You're scrolling through your feed when a headline grabs your attention. Deion Sanders has allegedly called out Shannon Sharpe over his involvement with a young OnlyFans model. At first glance, it sounds like just another celebrity feud. But when you look closer, it's tied to something much deeper. The ongoing $50 million lawsuit against Sharpe and the mounting public pressure surrounding his recent legal troubles. It all stems from a civil case filed just days ago, where a woman, referred to as Jane Doe, accuses Sharpe of serious crimes, including sexual assault, battery, and emotional abuse. The relationship, according to her, started consensually, but turned violent and exploitative. The case cites two specific dates of alleged rape, October 2024 and January 2025, and even points to a moment Sharpe accidentally live-streamed a sexual act in September 2024 as proof of his reckless behavior. Now, here's where Deion enters the conversation. According to emerging rumors, Sanders is privately furious, reportedly telling those close to him that Sharpe crossed the line by getting involved with a much younger woman, especially one active on a platform like OnlyFans. Some sources even claim he said Sharpe is hurting the brand, alluding to their close ties from sports and media circles. Whether or not Deion truly said those things on the record, that part is still unclear. But it raises the question, is Deion just trying to protect his own reputation? Or is he genuinely disappointed in someone he once viewed as a peer? And what do you think? Should high-profile athletes and analysts be held to a higher standard in their personal lives? Does involvement with adult content creators cross a line? Or is it being unfairly judged due to stigma? As the story unravels, one thing's clear. This is no longer just a legal case. It's a culture clash between image, power, and the private decisions that can explode in public. You keep digging, and it's clear the situation is way bigger than just a scandal. It's a full-blown reputation crisis. Not only for Shannon Sharpe, but for the people who've stood beside him for years. Like Deion Sanders. And now, the whispers are turning into headlines. Multiple blogs and fan pages are circulating clips allegedly showing Sanders throwing subtle shade during recent interviews. No names mentioned, but the timing? Suspicious. The body language? Tense. You can't help but wonder, is Deion trying to create distance without blowing things up? Or is he boiling beneath the surface, watching a longtime friend spiral out of control in real time? The two have always shared mutual respect, both dominant voices in sports, both known for their charisma and their influence. But when something this explosive happens, even the strongest alliances get tested. At the center of the backlash is the age and platform of the woman involved. People are debating whether it's fair to judge someone for dating someone younger or with an OnlyFans account. But when legal accusations get involved, the public draws hard lines fast. Some say Sharpe should have known better. Others argue it's not about the platform at all. It's about power dynamics and consent. And here's where the real tension brews. Deion Sanders represents old school discipline. He's now a college football coach, a mentor, a figure held up as an example to young athletes. How does that image align with someone like Sharpe being dragged into headlines about sex, threats, live streams, and lawsuits? If you were Deion, would you publicly call your friend out? Would you stay silent and protect the relationship? Or would you cut ties completely to protect your own legacy? Because while the courts sort out the facts, the public has already started choosing sides. Now the conversation is spilling into locker rooms, podcasts, and comment sections across every platform. Shannon Sharpe, once the loudest voice on sports talk shows, is now the subject of whispers he used to deliver. And while he continues to deny all allegations, that hasn't stopped the speculation from fans, analysts, and even fellow athletes. You scroll past a clip that's gaining traction. Deion Sanders, on a recent stream, gets asked a fan-submitted question that sounds innocent at first, but then it hits. The host reads it slowly. How do you feel about public figures getting caught up with OnlyFans girls and live streaming accidents? The room goes quiet, and Deion just chuckles before replying. I coach men, not boys. It's subtle. He doesn't say any names, but people catch the tone, and the clip goes viral. And that leaves you wondering, is this how high-profile figures keep it real without catching legal smoke? Should Deion have said more, or did that line say it all? Because now the public's perception isn't just about the lawsuit, it's about how Shannon's peers react to it. Are they standing with him, waiting for more facts? Or are they slowly backing away, preparing to protect their brands? When your image is your currency, silence can be strategy. But in times like this, it also feels like a verdict. More influencers begin reacting. Some defend Sharpe's right to privacy and due process. Others call the entire situation the downfall of unchecked celebrity privilege. There's no united stance, just waves of opinions crashing into each other. You're left asking, where do we draw the line between private life and public accountability? And more importantly, does loyalty in the spotlight look different once the cameras go dark? Now things start to get messy. Behind-the-scenes audio allegedly leaks. Someone in the room during a private gathering claims they heard Deion Sanders say Sharpe never touched that girl. The clip is grainy, the voice isn't confirmed, and there's no visual, but that doesn't stop it from going viral. It spreads like wildfire, plastered on every tabloid page with captions like, Deion exposes Sharpe, and Coach Prime calls out his bro. You hear the audio, the voice sounds familiar, but you can't be sure. Still, perception moves faster than proof, and the court of public opinion doesn't need confirmation to go in on it. And if that really was Deion, then this isn't just about disappointment, it's about betrayal. You start to see the cracks. Commentators who once praised their brotherhood now openly question whether their friendship was ever real. People wonder if Deion is trying to save face by throwing Sharpe under the bus. Others argue he's just being honest, and honesty should never be punished. So what do you think? Is it loyalty to stay silent, even if you disagree with your friend's actions? Or is real accountability calling someone out, no matter how close you are? Because Deion has a lot at stake. He's not just a coach or a media figure anymore. He's a symbol of leadership to young men trying to navigate fame, money, and pressure. Being tied to a scandal this serious could change that. And maybe that's why we're seeing this cold distance forming. You have to wonder, is this the beginning of a full split between two once-respected voices in sports? Or just the first of many public reckonings, where silence, friendship, and image all get put to the test? One thing's for sure, this story isn't dying down anytime soon. And then it happens. Shannon Sharpe responds. Not with a full press conference, not with a legal rebuttal, but with a subtle, heated message on social media. A black screen, white text, no caption. It reads, funny how people preach loyalty until it costs them something. Stay solid. You stare at it, no tags, no names, but everyone knows exactly who it's aimed at. The timing, the tone, it all lines up. And just like that, a private rift is made very public. The internet lights up again. This time, not about the case, but about the fallout between two sports icons. Memes fly, fans pick sides, analysts dissect every syllable of that cryptic post like it's a Super Bowl play. You start asking yourself, is Shannon cracking under pressure? Or is this a calculated move to remind everyone he still has a voice? Did he feel abandoned by betrayed by the silence? Or maybe he just snapped after watching his name dragged through the mud while former allies offered nothing but distance? Meanwhile, Deion stays quiet. Not a post, not a like, not a word. And in that silence, the divide grows louder. It becomes clear this isn't just about guilt or innocence anymore. It's about legacy. Two black men at the top of their respective games, now on opposite ends of one of the year's most controversial moments. And the audience? They're no longer watching for justice. They're watching for the drama. Is it fair? No. Is it personal? Absolutely. Because once loyalty turns into silence, and silence turns into subtweets, there's no going back. And now, the story isn't just what happened between Shannon and the model, it's what's breaking apart between two of the most iconic voices in the game. Then, the fallout gets even more layered. Brands start to pull back. A sports nutrition company quietly removes Shannon Sharpe from its homepage. A scheduled podcast appearance is postponed indefinitely. Reports surface that a major media network is reviewing his upcoming contract renewal. No official statements, no drama, just cold, quiet distancing. It's the kind of shift you only notice if you're paying attention. But in this world, people are watching everything. Meanwhile, Deion Sanders' name starts trending too. Not for a new coaching win, not for a press run, but for how he's handled this moment. Deion is playing chess, some fans say. He's doing what leaders do, protecting the brand. Others see it differently. He left his brother behind the second it got uncomfortable. It becomes a cultural split. One side sees Deion as a tactician, the other as a betrayer. And you're caught in the middle, asking yourself, is it smart leadership or selective morality? Would you have done the same in Deion's shoes? Or would you have stood beside your friend and let the world come for you both? And let's not forget the bigger picture. This isn't just about two men. This is about what happens when black public figures fall into controversy. The scrutiny is different. The expectations are higher. The judgment is quicker. It's not just their reputations at stake. It's what they represent. To fans, to youth, to culture. Now the silence around Shannon is starting to feel like a sentence. handed down not by a court, but by the very circles that once elevated him. The same circles that chanted his name on TV and locker rooms and across social media are now watching from a distance. You're left wondering, who's next to turn their back? Because in this kind of storm, even your closest circle can become your quietest audience. And just like that, what began as a civil lawsuit has evolved into a cultural fault line, stretching far beyond the courtroom and shaking everything tied to Shannon Sharpe's name. Not just endorsements or public opinion, but relationships that once seemed untouchable. His dynamic with Deion Sanders, once celebrated as a brotherhood built on mutual respect and legacy, now looks like it's cracked beyond repair. You look at the bigger picture and realize this moment is bigger than a case, bigger than two icons. It's about accountability in the age of exposure, where one misstep, real or alleged, can be amplified, politicized, and monetized before the facts even settle. It's about the cost of fame and the silence that often comes with it. And yet, you're still left with questions. Where does loyalty end and self-preservation begin? Should Deion have publicly stood by his friend, or did he do what any smart leader would do? Is Shannon's social media post a sign of strength, or the last defiant breath of someone watching everything crumble? The courtroom will eventually decide the facts. The law will have its say. But in the meantime, you've watched something else collapse. Trust, image, brotherhood. No public apology, no final handshake, just a trail of deleted posts, dropped contracts, and two men now standing on opposite sides of a storm. And that's what makes it so raw, so real,